Hey everybody, this is Jeff from Jeff's Vegetable Garden and Containers. I want to go over a few things with the garden. I told you last time I wanted to go over the sweet potatoes and some other things I got growing in here, and broccoli and cauliflower to show you the advantages and disadvantages of the gardening. This barrel you see right here, I started with sweet potatoes. Sorry, put that on my sweet potato. Right. I started this last week. I put them in there all laying on the side because they're wet coming out and everything, but I put some holes in the side of barrels like I told you I was going to do. And I've got 5 plants in the top of here, and they're all starting to stand up on their own. And it's going to go absolutely. See, the one on the side was just like hanging down. But in these, you just got to remember when I put these together, I do these. This ends up being on the very bottom is a half a bag of mulch. Just sits down there so it allows the water to go through. Then I mix a bag of compost and a bag of potting soil together. Mix it all together. Throw a couple granules of long-term fertilizer in there. Pour it in. Then I plug some holes everywhere I'm going to put everything in. I put maybe a teaspoon or 2 of bone meal and a teaspoon of blood meal in there. And put the plant in and cover it up with the dirt and everything, pan it down and straw it on top and heavily water it, and boom, that's what you got. I wasn't even going to do sweet potatoes this year because I had so many last year, but I put them in this winter and I just had 75, 80 of them. Just incredible. In fact, in the next barrel, I actually doubled them up. I put in last night. And, but like I said, the healthiness of them is just incredible, and they all had roots. And like I said, I still have 15, 20 left, and I'm giving it my partner work because he wants to try to grow some. Another thing I put in last week is don't forget to put your marigolds in. There's 3 pots back here, and there's 3 up in the main garden too. Marigolds are great for bugs, and rodents hate the smell of them. They don't like getting near them, so they're just absolutely great for a garden. You can see the watermelon I put in there a week ago, and it was just a couple of leaves sticking up. Well, it's watermelon, cantaloupe, melon, 2 types of watermelon. But they're already prospering already, and like I said, they're on that automatic. I put drip out here compared to the nozzle types inside because I had so much area to cover, and it's all through timers. Now, I put these in last night. You're going to say, oh, God, Jeff, they look terrible, them sweet potatoes. Well, they're in a jug of water for the last week and a half, okay? But see, I cut them all around the sides there, right? And I put them up here. Some of these are real, real long. And then this one's starting to come to life. It'll take them, you see like he's up here. They're not used to totally being in the sun yet. But and some of them I doubled up because I just had so many of them. But in the top here, this one actually lays back to the middle. This one lays back to the middle, and that one does. So when they look on the outside, that's as I laid these in this year. Laid them in and then turned them up. So I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, like 12 slips just in the top because I had so many. And just figured out what the heck. And I got so much dirt to use. I did 4 holes around the sides to grow them in the bottom because I told you what I put into pots a few minutes ago. But when you put them in, what I always found was the top third grows a ton of potatoes, and you got like a third of that good soil above the, maybe in half in some of the barrels, above the mulch, and it just becomes like a dead zone for things. It doesn't grow anything. So that's why I figured this year I'd try growing them a little lower in the sides and see if I can produce both places in the barrel at one time. Corn, like I told you, corn is, you look at it, I put in last week, could have been 4 inches tall at max. 4 inches tall, maybe 6, but 4 most. And that's 18 inches high in most places. One of the most important things, and I'll show you here now, I already gone through the garden. What I do is I take, if they're not too bad, not too well in, I just snap them off. And what this is on tomatoes and peppers and eggplants and stuff that's growing straight up and down like that, or cucumbers. You can see I got stuff laying right over there, right here, and there. So what ended up, you end up taking that off, because what ends up happening is, as it gets bigger, those leaves tend to bow out, go down, and I start picking them up through the thing. But when they're too low to the ground, and once it becomes a real huge bushing problem out here, which it will, once it becomes a huge bushing problem out here, the raspberries looking pretty good. Okay, cabbage is looking all right. I trimmed that one up till it was laying down a little bit, but everything in here, from peppers to eggplant to tomatoes, I took all these tomatoes. If you look on that bush down there, all those bushes there, they're now 5 or 6 inches up above the dirt, because that's where most of your diseases come from, is when your plants fall down and the leaves lay in the ground, and it just causes disease to run right up through everything. My wife picked a bunch of the spinach and lettuce yesterday. Cabbage looks pretty good right now. Peppers are growing at a good pace right now. In fact, there's a couple of small peppers on that one already, which is 2 are on here for that. I can't believe it. Peas are looking real nice here. They're starting to flower. Cucumbers are going crazy. I haven't seen it yet because I haven't really looked for it. My wife said we already had 1 or 2 already growing on here, so I'll see if I can spot it on the other side. I just haven't taken time. I just stay busy with what I'm doing as far as the garden. Red cabbage is looking good. All the tomatoes trimmed up, like I told you. You can see the yellow squash growing down inside of there everywhere. I got yellow squash growing down inside of here. I can't remember everything. That's another type of squash there. This is, I believe, another yellow squash here. And this is another squash. Just got a lot of squash going this year. Eggplant's looking good. Squash, you see spaghetti squash looking a little bit crappy. I just had to undo it. It was all tangled. It took off after a week and just got tangled and everything out here. So I had to get off, get it ready. And you can see that zucchini growing right on there right now. This is another zucchini here. This is a striped type of zucchini that's grown right down there. I'm thinking this is another yellow squash. It just looks that way. The beans are looking good, but they normally don't come in till, start growing until late June, early July, and in hot weather they grow pretty good. This year they're way ahead. Tomato plants looking good. I trimmed that all at the bottom too, so they've all been trimmed up. These onions went to bolt. I'll be pulling these out in the next week or so. Let them dry out a little bit, but I cut all the flowering heads off the top because it's just done, and you can see those are starting to get to a point there too. Something I pissed at grapes. This first year I did grapes, and they're looking pretty good there right now. And these beans, these are green beans, they're looking real good. So right now there's not really a complaint. There's a couple things I put in, but I wanted to give you a look. Look at that cauliflower growing down there. It's sweet. And there's the broccoli growing right in there. So I didn't grow as much rachis and lettuces and stuff. That I put most of it in smaller pots this year, because as much as everybody loves it, once you grow it and you eat so much of it, you get going, you just can't keep up. And people say freeze it, but my freezer is already full. Strawberries are, you can see that one red one down there, but she picked them clean last night. I would guess she had about 24 strawberries. She pulled out these 3 little pots here. One I threw out today, something got to it. You can see that tomatoes all trimmed up down there. These I did all down to the barrel, so if you go underneath, well, look at that. I missed 1 or 2. Look at that. How dare I do that? Okay, so these tomatoes are all in good shape, and the strawberries, you can see the crooked neck squash growing down in there. I wanted to show you this. Look at that spaghetti squash already. I'm in May, people. I'm in May. Look at the size of that spaghetti squash. For God's sake, that's something I get after the whole year. So I'm real tickled about that right now. You can see the little cucumbers growing on there. I thought she said she saw one. Oh, there it is down there. It was almost ready to pick. See it? So I didn't see it early because I get too busy in trimming them and doing everything to look. I'm not in the harvest mode yet. Another squash growing here. And these are all cucumbers. See, there's a cucumber here. 1, 2, 3, 4. I think there's 5 cucumber bushes here right now. And they're all flowering. They're all looking good. Just got to keep moving them up on the poles and the rail and keep training them. That's all I do is I keep training them until they work their way all the way up to the top. If they can't be trained, I kind of what do you call it? Cut the excess off if I don't need it, because cucumbers are great. They'll grow by the zillions. Sometimes you can grow too many, it drives you out of your mind. But the thing about cucumbers is once you hit mid-July and it's real hot and humid, you can water them forever and fertilize them. Cucumbers just die off at that time. Certain things do, and that's one of them. See here, peppers. They're probably 2 foot tall now on each side of that tomato plant there. Another tomato plant, and you look at that and go, oh, Jeff, looks like it's dying. I just have water and fertilizer. It's just same as this one. It's a period they go through sometimes, but they'll be producing just fine. And this is another crooked neck squash down there starting up. So anything I would pick flowers off this time of the year, probably this week. So I'll pick the flowers off the peppers because this time of year, because I don't want them already getting ready. But like these, they're like bone dry, and it's hard to understand how they can be bone dry when we've just had so much water. Potatoes, you just see them, just the mountains of potato buckets there. And Pontiac Reds, Purple Majesties, and White Plain ones. I can't think what they're called. And then we also got russets in there. So you can see from here, start them go to flower. I got to pull them flowers off too. You see, it's just a jungle. Raspberry bushes getting close to changing colors on stuff. See that white pod on top, seed pod on top? That's another onion going to seed. Looks like this one blueberry bush is coming back right there, but I'm still trying to figure out why that was so hard this year. Another marigold there. So what I want to do by looking at this, since it's saying this is a little bit low, which makes no sense, watering timer that goes to these and that one over there is this timer here, and what I can do is just go to the manual button, and I'm just going to turn it up a little bit, and let's soak those things, just make sure sometimes there's little, that one's shooting water out of there, pretty good. Yeah, they're all shooting water out of them good. Yep, and they're all spraying their water, so don't have a problem with that. The only one I don't see doing is right here. Let me see. There it is. It wants to shoot out of there. And that one's going. Yeah, they're all going there, so they're going there. Yep, so everything's getting its water. You can see it down to the strawberries. Everything's getting its water there where it has to get it. I don't have this one on right now. That's why that one's not there. But you can see I got the 2 timers there that are tied into a hosing system. And the one does like 17 pots here, and there's 6 over here. The one does a drip hose out here to all this stuff plus potatoes. This row right here and this row in the middle are done off one timer, which is right in here. And I actually run a hose from the back of here back out there to the watermelon garden, and that's just drip that feeds all the corn or watermelon back there. And then this drip hose does these buckets I have on this side on this trellis, and comes back here and does these couple of pots I got right here with everything growing and the onions over there. Honestly, I'm not too happy with the onions right now. I've fertilized and they've been watered and they're grown, but not what I expected for Texas blooming onions. So we'll see. We'll see how they make it. Just give them more time. Maybe they'll actually do something. But followed all the rules. And I got to, like I said, straighten that spaghetti squash up now along the fence so it'll grow and give me some spaghetti squashes out there. But like I said, the main thing wasn't really a garden review, was to show you how you have to. We did a video on fertilizing last time. Now I did a video on making sure you have all your tomatoes and different stuff. No matter what is in the garden, you don't want any leaves laying down on a pot to the dirt. You just don't want it. You want to keep them up above there, keep away from any disease. Because when it rains, it hits the dirt and it splashes up. And if the leaves are up higher and splashes on, it'll run off. But if it lays there, that dirt and anything that's in there, bugs or insects will come up there once they can get a hold of that stuff and just kick your garden's butt. And you're going to wish you would have done something about it. Like you see over here, that's that peach tree from last year. I had in a bucket. I think it's still got 5 or 6 peaches on it, but most of them are gone. And that means the old squirrels are in town. And being so young, that one back there, that peach tree back there, I can see roughly 20 or 30 on there. But they only be so long. And one thing about this area between birds and squirrels, it's just groundhogs were a problem for a couple of years. Rabbits, I'm not going to say it's eliminated because they're always around, and deer reaching over the fence, so I had to put my corn and peppers and stuff more inside and have a fence up because they used to just walk right into the garden and just eat every freaking thing. That hasn't been too much of a problem, and I've been keeping up with everything in the garden as far as fencing and blocking it and putting wood down and everything. So I'm pretty good with that. I guess the main thing is just got to keep up with what's going on and take their environment away from them, because the skunks, the groundhogs, and the things that come to want to get in your garden, except for the deers, they stay year round. If there's nothing to eat, they leave. If there's something to eat, they want to get it, but they're not going to stay here all winter and wait for your garden to go up next year. But where they love to live is underneath your sheds or underneath a deck or something like that. So anything you got like that, I can tell you now, I've done it. It's all along my sheds. Anywhere they would be, I have put wooden logs there or fencing or blocks or whatever everywhere, and it's significantly helped the issue with pests and things growing. But like I said, I didn't want to get into too much, except for mainly telling you this is the time of year your stuff's getting bigger. Get them leaves and stems off the bottom, branches off the bottom. Make sure you get rid of them and you're ready to go, because otherwise a couple weeks from now you'll be fighting disease and you'll be pissed off why nothing's growing. And that will be why you get something in that ecosystem of your stems and everything, and it'll just tear it up. And I think I'm walking back here, I'm going to be taking this down this week because don't need them right now, obviously. But if I'm looking at this right, I have to look at it real good. I'm pretty sure I have to look at it, but I'm pretty sure that's a damn potato growing out of there. And they were mixed in with potatoes, so I have to look at it. Once I take the plastic off the top, if it is, I'll just let it sit there and let it grow a couple potatoes. You get this off, get the rest of the stuff out of here, then I got to get my garden back to where it's in decent shape again, where I want it at. Not my garden, my shed, because of all the work and everything I've done, and it gets so busy, you just got to get it. It's not terrible, but I just got to get it to where I want. All right, guys, that's about all I got for you. Don't forget, have a great day. Great weekend coming up. The weather's getting better. And like and subscribe and ask the questions and share. I appreciate it. And like I said, don't forget to go out to LinkedIn, Facebook, Pinterest. I can't think of them all. Instagram. All those different places. And put out your questions and check out the videos and do some gardening if you want to. And if it bothers you, you're not aware, or you don't know how to do it, or you've never done it but you want to try it, just ask the questions and we can get you started, because we've been doing it a lot of years with a lot of success. All right, guys, have a great rest of the day, and we'll talk to you soon. Thanks.